Welcome everyone, it's Shari Carroll for SimonsStamp.com, and I have a Funny Friday card for you today. And I've created a little slider to go along with my gentleman in his recliner. This is an art impression set and it's called Sit Back Laugh Lines. It has the gentleman at the bottom and then several messages that you can pair together for your card. So I'm inking this up with some Simons Stamp Intense Black ink. I'm using my Misty and I'll just press this down. If you need to, for a nice dark impression, you can ink that up twice. The image comes with motion lines around, and I've decided to cut these out, and I'm just doing a small white border around the entire image. For coloring, I'm using my Copic markers, and I've chosen warm neutral colors for this card, and I'm doing just basic coloring and adding in some shadows and depth in some of the lines. With his recliner almost finished, I'll move into some olive green for his shirt. I'll do some light and dark shading and a warm gray for his pants, and I'll emphasize some of those wrinkles and creases. I'm making a mini slimline card, and I've cut a panel that'll fit on top of the mini slimline note card, and I'll be covering this with some papers. And to get it started, I'll be using my Simons Stamp Dot Runner adhesive onto the panel, and then I can add my pattern paper on top, and then I can trim around the panel to clean it up. I've decided to add a message to my bottom strip, and I'm using my anti-static bag. I'm inking this up with Simons Stamp Clear Embossing ink and my Misty, and I'm pressing this down in place. I'll be using some white embossing powder, and I'll just sprinkle this on and then tap off the excess. Once I have that done and cleaned up, I can use my heat gun to heat set this. And now I'm going to create that slider mechanism, and I'm using the Simons Stamp Sentiment Labels die, and this is the second one from the smallest, and I'm just going to center this on the card right above that teal strip. I've cut an additional strip of the pattern paper, and I'll be setting this onto the note card so that the opening has the same paper behind it. So to do this, I'm adding adhesive in the general area, and I have my piece of paper set behind my panel, and I'll place this on top just to where I want to mount it with everything lined up. And then I can run my finger over the strip and make sure that that is stuck down, and then press it down in place. And now I'm ready to add my gentleman to the panel, and I'm just going to position him how I want him, and then I can turn this over. I'll be using small foam squares for this, and these are a perfect size to place within that opening. They are 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch foam squares. And because my image is a little bit larger, I'm going to be placing 2 slider mechanisms onto this. I'll be putting a piece of foam tape on the left side and also on the right side. For my sliders, I'm using a larger sequin, and I've removed that backing off of the foam tape, and I can press the sequin right in place. The sequins are large enough to where they won't slide through the opening, and once I have those in place, I can test out my slider mechanism, and he is scooting across the card, so this is working out really well. I decided to add an additional greeting to my front panel so that when he slides across, it's revealed. I always like to make sure and test the slider mechanism before I stick this down to the card. So I've doubled up on my foam tape, and I've made sure that that channel for the slider is clear of any of the foam tape. I'll remove the backing from just the center part, and I'm making sure that everything is clear, and now I can mount this to my note card. I really love this card with the gentleman in his recliner and his possible flatulence to scoot him across the room. So I hope you've enjoyed this Funny Friday with Art Impressions Sit Back Laugh Line Stamp Set. And as always, thanks so much for watching.